guys, welcome to Everybody Games Podcast. We're here, episode 14. Yes, and we have Paola, who we love.
Yes.
Thank you for joining
you
us.
guys.
Big fan.
Finally, I get to
Big
come
fan.
into the lair.
I know.
Yes, you are
This
here.
is actually really sick, to be
Thank
honest.
you.
Like
We
the
even
Christmas lights up right
Yeah,
now,
we
yeah.
have it decked out for
Well,
Christmas.
you're all dressed up, so, and then I feel like we're red. I kind of got the memo, so.
Yeah, you totally did.
I
Colorful memo.
wore black.
Appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I know she said wear color, but I was like,
you added the color part, which is all that matters.
own a lot of color. I'm
It's
sorry.
totally fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, if you know, our set's really dark, so if you want to pop, it's always good to add a little something. But before we get started, I just want to shout out to Jefferson West, who's one of our Patreon tiers holders. He's been for a long time now,
Yeah.
almost 6 months, I want to say, or
Long
something. So we really appreciate your support. And, you know, this podcast and all the content that I do is made because you're able to support, I get your support on Patreon. And I just really want to say thank you. And I appreciate you guys. James Kelly, sorry, made a mistake there.
Jefferson West, James Kelly.
Jefferson West. They're really cool names.
Yeah.
I know.
We say it every time, but they sound like superhero
They
names.
do sound like superhero names. So James West, thank you so much as well for being one of the top tier holders. We super duper appreciate.
Yeah.
And I'm sure our guests do as well.
I appreciate it. Then I get to
yeah.
hang out with my friends. So
Exactly.
Thanks, James.
Yes,
Yeah.
James and Jefferson. Cool. So I guess we can get started. This is super casual, by the way.
I love
You
it.
can curse.
You can curse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you beat me out?
No.
No.
I have a really bad potty mouth because I've
I
been
do
so
too.
trained to be on stage
Right.
and you never know who's listening. You know, sometimes your clients could be really big people and they know that, you know,
Yeah.
they won't find anything on you. But I used to have a podcast and I used to drop F-bombs
F-bombs all the time.
And I'm like, I missed that. So when you were like, we're going to be on the podcast, I was like, I'm sorry if shit or fuck
comes out.
You can
out.
say
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yeah.
Totally
I'm
fine.
sorry.
We
Yeah.
even did a stream today and we're like swearing because we
Yeah.
were playing Rocket League. So
Oh,
it's a little
okay, okay.
intense.
That makes you swear.
Super makes you swear.
I feel like
I'm
gaming
like, shoot.
triggers that part of your brain.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the little rage thing that comes out of you every now and
It's
then.
because there's like, especially with Rocket League, there's like so much tension. You're like, I'm gonna get this shot, and then someone's like, "Whoom," and just
Yeah.
like takes the ball away.
Or
and you
like
get,
me, you veer the other directions for some random reason, uncontrollably not able to control the ball at all.
I missed so many shots on that stream today. Like there's like
I
a
saw you
perfect,
like whoa, like
perfectly
the ball's
lined up
right in the
shot,
middle.
and the ball comes down, and I'm like, I'm gonna nail it, and it just bounces over me.
Or it just slide right next to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel
Like-
like Rocket League's got that like sense like you just want to get better and better the more you play it.
Yes, because you know that it's so detailed. Like it's not detailed. What you used a really good way of
The skill
describing
cap
it.
is really
the
high.
skill cap's really high.
Yeah.
But what I meant to say, it's like very. There's just a lot to it.
Mechanically
There's a lot of different
intensive.
things
Yeah.
you have to consider, like
Yeah.
the movement, the momentum of the ball, your momentum, and your boost.
Oh,
and
and your
everything.
cameras.
Your
Yeah.
cameras. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much like little
Your
things you have to
teammates,
be
where
thinking
you're at,
about
where you are versus the
simultaneously.
boost. It's crazy. It's a good game. Really
it's
into it
so
right now.
good.
It makes you think how these professionals like spend like 90% up in the air. I don't get it. It's like
Where they're
sorcery.
flying.
Yeah, they're just like flying the whole time.
Oh,
I'm
the
like,
ball's there. Let me just hit that in from like I don't know how many meters that is in game, but
it just blows my
Yeah.
mind when I actually watch it because I'm like, how are they? And I've seen like Kenobi and like seen other these pro players play it, and I'm just like, I still don't get it.
They're playing a different game,
It's
basically.
like sorcery.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Total sorcery.
Made a deal with the devil because
Yeah.
I cannot Rocket League like that.
We got match made against like two games where there was one guy on the team that was just incredible, and he scored like 10 goals. On
10
us.
goals
It's
on
crazy.
us.
Like it's the
it would have
skill
maybe been
difference.
20 if that other guy was a pro. Or
the
like
skill
as good
difference
as he
is
was.
crazy. It's like he like popped the ball up in the air and then like rode it through the air into the goal. I'm like, this is not
Complete-
fun. This can't be fun for you.
No, exactly.
but-
Especially against us. We're like, we're not that good.
I'm bad. I'm bronze. Like,
I'm
and
so
then
bad.
you're learning. You
Yeah.
got like 30 hours into it now,
Yeah.
but these dudes have like 4,000 hours. Into
Yes.
the game.
So the level of control they have on the ball over anyone who doesn't have control, which is like us half the time, it's
I
just
miss
not fair.
Stationary ball. Like, let alone catch it in the air.
Ball? Yeah, exactly. Where are the balls that don't bounce? Like
Yeah.
that's where I want to play. That's the game I want to play.
TLDR, Rocket League really fun. We're really bad, but it was a blast.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm pretty bad too, and what can I say? We're all a bunch of Rocket League noobs.
We are.
For me,
It's
I
just
just
you have to put in so much time.
for me, I've just come to terms with like I'll never be a pro in any video game. And then I just started enjoying my games a lot more. I'm like, I'll never be ninja at Fortnite. I'll never be like you said, Cronovi at Rocket League. Like, I'll never be double lift. Like, so after I realized that, I started enjoying myself a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I guess was it for you, like growing up when you latched onto games? What was like the thing that hooked you?
That I could beat everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of the 1v1 that nobody wanted to 1v1. My cousins had a console. They had a Nintendo console. Everyone would go to their house, and it was nothing but dudes, and I would have to fight my way through to play. Just like play one game, and we would get into fights because one of my cousins, he didn't like me to play. He was just like, "You're a girl, you can't play." My oldest cousin, who was kind of in charge, he was like, "No, she can play. That's fine. Let her play. Like she could be part of this." And then it came to a thing where I was like, well, if I beat you because it's in game, I get to go to the next round. So we'd play Street Fighter all the time.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, I beat you. It's my turn again. Sometimes they would be like, no, we're not playing it like that. But I was too like smart and into the meta already. I was like, no, I get to go to the next round. You guys can suck it, and I'm gonna play. And I built kind of like I don't know, I think my toughness a little bit for the first time because guys did not want to play. And then so when I started collecting my consoles and my gaming equipment, people didn't know I was a gamer until they went to my house and they were like, oh my God, you have everything. And I'd be like, yeah, let's play. So my house ended up, as I got older, becoming the house to game at. And
that's so cool.
And the guys would want to come over, and then they would be like, oh yeah, you actually do know how to play video games.
You know your stuff.
Yeah, you know your stuff.
I've mentioned it on this podcast, but I hate that shit. Like, oh, you're a girl, you're into games? Like, what was Sonic's left shoelace in Sonic 3, level 4?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how many rings were actually there in level 5? I'm like,
knows.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate that. Or like the guys are like, fake gamer girls. Like, you should... Any girl who wants to play video games with you, you should be down. Like
you should be excited.
When I was a kid, I was like, "Oh my God, I'd love have a girlfriend who plays games," and obviously hit the jackpot.
Oh, jeez,
jackpot.
Louise.
Yeah, I know.
God.
These dudes that like want to push ladies out of the gaming space, it just
I know, complaining so much, like, oh, girls don't play games, or I wish I had a gamer girl, and they get mad when she actually knows how to play games.
That's another thing. It was a balance of both, and I'd have to always kind of steer that. Sometimes if I was too good, I could feel that, like, wow, she like totally kicked your ass. Yeah. And I don't really feel like playing. Like I'd be like, yo, let's play another round. They'd be like, nah, I don't feel like it. Let's go out. And I'd be like,
a little bit of ego damage.
Yeah, definitely a lot of ego damage that I had.
Which is a bummer because, with their best friend or another guy friend, it probably wouldn't have been like that. They would have continued on.
And I feel like girls and females now growing up with the gaming space, there's so much more support, and they have more people that they can look up to. I didn't have that many people. It was until I saw Jessica Chobot on G4, and I was like, "Oh shit, I love her. I want to be her." But in my mind, I never fathomed that they would not hire people because there was not a lot of people of color, on TV that
diversity.
I could be. Yeah, there was not a lot of diversity.
There's still not.
Of course. So it's like, I was just like, but I want to be here, but it'll never happen. In my head, I put it in my head, and it's never going to happen. Flash forward today, now I'm friends with Jessica.
I know, you guys hang out.
We do hang out at events. She's a wild one. I love her. I love her spirit in the space, because I always feel like, oh, maybe I'm too old to do this shit. And then I'm like thinking, like, she's always kicking ass. I'm like, what am I talking about?
You can do this forever.
You can do this forever.
You totally can. I mean, if Major Nelson can get to his age and still be hosting like Xbox, whatever his show is,
every time.
So I mean, we're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah, the gaming industry is like
it gives you no age.
It's changing. Yeah, it's almost like it doesn't matter your age if you love a game. Like you can, and your stuff. I mean, you can go in on and work in that space.
That's what I love about gaming is like it's in most cases like a meritocracy. If you're good enough to be there, like no one gives a shit. Like there are like shitty dudes who are like they'll say stuff, but like it's basically put up or shut up. Oh, you don't believe I'm good enough to be here? Come, let's see. Like, and then
the competitive gamer in you comes out.
That's what I like. That's what I liked about video games. Like, I could beat people at this. Like, because I was always like, as a kid, I always want to play rough and go play and go do sports. And I got in video games. I was like, hold up, there's there's another person that is a person I just beat. And they're like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm
Feels
down.
good.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
I think my first multiplayer game I played was, I want to say like PvP multiplayer was like Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, because I never had like a 64, so it was never.
So you didn't play like Smash.
I didn't play like GoldenEye, Smash, or anything like that.
Yeah, I was from the GoldenEye, Smash.
Yeah.
It's about this. I think was Duke Nukem 3D before GoldenEye? It might have been like maybe 2 or 3 years.
I want to say it was. I want to say it was. I want to say I played it before.
I didn't have a PC. My parents did not do PC. Like they got me like a Mac, and that was their version. That was their version of PC gaming. It wasn't until I was older and understood like the space of gaming. I predominantly come from the console world. My parents, it was easy for them to go to like a Toys R Us or wherever and be like, okay,
know that this is like for that purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they can buy it like in the gaming
easy to
section.
set up, like nothing, you don't need to know how to
PCs
Yeah, I'm a
daunting.
Nintendo kid, man. I come from the Nintendo like verse.
What was the hook, the game that like got you? Like
In
that
the
you just
Nintendo,
loved
or-
so much. A Nintendo or anything? Like what was your kind of favorite game genre?
I've always been in. Well, Mario was obviously like all the Marios were kind of very intriguing to me because it was Mario and having to go through parallel worlds and like I thought it was a very interesting, more cerebral than. Like, I really enjoyed Mario 2, even though people didn't like it. They thought it was really weird. Because they were like, oh, why does it look so, like... Different than, you know, the first or the third, even.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I liked how creepy it looked and how the characters... I still get kind of creeped out hearing the theme song of it a little bit. But I gravitated toward first-person shooters right away. So, GoldenEye, Rainbow Six... SOCOM, like I just kind of started I started kind of just being like, oh wow, I really like beating these guys up, and I would never talk on mic. As soon as Call of Duty came out, you know, I played Call of Duty on PC because I was, you know, I was at that age where I could access a PC, but it wasn't until Call of Duty 4 where I was just, and Halo, I was like...
That was Modern Warfare. 4 was Modern Warfare, right?
Yeah, it was Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and then and I had Halo. And I was just like, okay, I found my happy place.
Yeah.
My, like, comfort. And I had to deal with...
love.
and my love, through this crazy journey. But, yeah, I don't know why. I just loved first-person shooters, and I loved the way they told stories. Like, I loved how Bungie told stories, and I just was hooked. I was like, here we go. I found my niche, and, you know, now it's like... That's pretty much what I play now. It's like what I gravitate towards first. But
favorite first-person shooter weapon?
Oh, good question.
Well, M16, anything M16, AR, anything with an AR. Yeah, anything that I can burst fire is like probably the most powerful for me because I got used to. You know,
the Halo one was the DMR, right? Or was that the battle rifle? Battle rifle was the 3-shot.
That one was. So I love that gun. If I picked that up, I felt really confident. I never picked up the automatic weapons. I'd pick up the sword from time to time, but it was all about that BR type of gun, feeling burst fire. Anything with burst fire, M16 was my favorite thing. And mind you, I didn't like guns. Like, guns kind of freaked me out when I was young, but the fact that I knew them, the way they sounded, it was just in-game was different. It wasn't until I'm much older I appreciated going to, like, gun ranges, and now I actually kind of like guns. So.
Guns are... Guns scare me like any powerful tool scares me. Like being around a bulldozer that's actively moving scares the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Standing next to a plane engine that's running scares the shit out of me. Like, because I maybe it's more like a respect for what can happen in our like heartbeat there.
Yeah.
For me, favorite gun wise is I really liked Unreal Tournament as a kid, and all of my favorite guns and all of like later in games all come from Unreal Tournament, like the flak cannon, the Ripper. The flak cannon is in Overwatch. That's what Roadhog has. The Ripper is amazing. The Ripper is you shoot. I believe the name was a Ripper. You shoot like table saw blades, these round blades, and they used to bounce around corners, so you could like fire it around a corner,
and like ricochet it.
And if you hit it head level, it would be an instant kill. It'd take the head right off.
Did you get really good?
I got really good, and then the energy rifle, which was you could, it had two fires. It had just like a straight beam. It's like, poof. And then the alternate fire was a ball. And if you fired, the ball moved really slow. Ooh. And it would, if it hit, it would do a big explosion, but you could also shoot it out of the air with the primary fire. So you could fire it, and if someone's around the corner, as soon as it gets past the corner, blow it up next to them.
Blast it in their face.
It's in Overwatch now. It's Ash's thing. So it's essentially the same mechanic as when Ash throws her dynamite and shoots it. It's the same thing.
So good. Yeah.
Oh, man. Unreal Tournament has like all of the best gun designs, in my opinion.
Yep.
There are a couple really good ones. The Energy Sword's cool. Needler was really cool.
Needler was good. That's an iconic one.
Sounded.
Yeah.
I mean,
terrifying.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explosion.
I'm trying to think of like other games because I'll just talk about Unreal
Halo.
Tournament. Halo, yeah. Plasma Pistol was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in Call of Duty, I remember even just like the realistic guns being implemented into games. I didn't know how powerful they were. Like, I never knew what a P90 was.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, when I saw it, when I finally unlocked it, I was like, yes, I know this gun. This is
guns are so cool looking too. I like anything like industrial and like takes like some feat of like brutal.
I would say BioShock definitely had my...
That was the steampunky, like, types of weapons.
Yeah, and I could definitely be like, oh my god, okay, so this is like next level type of weapons, and the thought process that they thought to do this was really great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other, like there's a lot of games with great guns in them. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I just immediately
Not just OP, because Golden Gun, obviously.
No, obviously. Why am I blanking on the name now? But
describe it, and we can maybe help.
Yeah, it starts with the letter B. Guys, it's so famous. Come on. It's, I'm blanking on the name. Anyways, I won't think of it. I'll just come up with a different game.
What was the game?
Why can't I think? I just came from a nap, so I'm a little like hazy
loopy.
right now.
I like napped in the car. Which is
I met the voice actors. What? Oh my god!
You talking about from Borderlands?
Borderlands. Yeah.
What's the name of the gun? What's the name of the gun?
That took forever. No, I didn't. Not the gun. The one particular gun. There were so many guns.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's so
iconic
that you know you play Borderlands because of the variety and all the different types of weapons that they created and that you could loot.
I was late to the Borderlands
craze.
Yeah, well, because I just was like, this is too hype. But then when I played with my friends with it, then I was like, oh my god, this is actually really, really good.
It's really good.
I tried it. I think I put like an hour into it. I was like, this isn't for me. Just like those games.
It's also the characters too. That's mostly why I think people played it, like the world they built and everything. But also just it's a loot like heavy game. You just like looting all the time, upgrading your weapons, getting new weapons, like getting the most amount of weapons. Basically,
I think it was Rainbow Six Black Arrow. I really liked the G36C.
Oh, okay.
That was a really good gun. Sorry, I mean,
he got an epiphany on one gun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like one
weapon
that is iconic and that I love. But like I mean, I gravitate towards story-based games. So like weapons are nor here nor there. It's not like a big deal.
What about not guns? So like the energy sword is great.
I'm trying to think like.
Well, I just think of the crowbar from Half-Life.
Yeah, the crowbar from Half-Life is
Kratos'
a classic.
Axe. That thing's really cool in the most recent God of War.
I'm trying to think of also like when I played Dragon Age, like when I was
portal gun.
The portal gun, yeah, but when I was playing my rogue with the swords. What?
The ray gun.
The ray gun's another one. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, also you have to think Star Wars too, like lightsabers and stuff.
That's cheating. Like
it's not cheating.
Magic. No, I mean, it's like magic space laser swords. Like, those are cool. I don't know. I can talk about this forever. So
that could be like a whole episode in itself. Is just how many the weapons,
most iconic guns in games, or like weapons in games.
Yes,
that's the headline.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Write it down. But there's just so many that are great. Like you bring up BioShock, but the plasmids. Those are so cool. You could talk about Skyrim, like all of those things are great. Yeah, Portal Gun. Okay. I just did.
Oh, you did. Okay, I didn't pick it up.
Man, you're still recovering from that
I'm
nap.
very much recovering from that. Did you just say it before I mentioned it?
Like 30 seconds earlier.
Okay. I must have like heard it like briefly, and then I was like, did I remember? Did I say this? Was this said? I don't know.
You could say it twice because it's definitely a significant gun. I feel like it gets.
I thought you were fucking with me at first. I was like, really?
No, I'm just still.
What's
sleepy.
The worst gun that we can say it's like the worst? The worst.
Going to Unreal Tournament again. I hated the bio rifle. It was like you like sprayed this sludge that like had a huge drop off, and if you walked on it, it'd poison you. It's essentially Torb's new.
I was gonna say I hate Torbjorn's gun. Like that thing is useless for me.
His new alt's just
doesn't do anything.
Well, some people can be effective. I just cannot Torbjorn.
It's area denial, but it's just like. I don't know. I hated that gun. That was like my
I'm just
least
trying to
favorite
think
weapon.
like worst gun. I don't know. Like usually something that's like laser, like just bounces off walls or something. Like kind of what you were describing. Like I remember there was a game that had that. I can't picture what it was, but anyway. I just guns aren't a thing for me when it comes to because I'm not a first person.
Yeah, you're a story based
player,
person.
You know?
Yeah.
That's how I get all of my story gaming. Is I just watch her
and then
play.
I think about like all the RPGs I play. It's like mostly swords, but like those change all the time throughout the story.
Or it's a bow and arrow or something like that.
Master Sword, obviously.
Skyrim.
Yes.
Every time I play through, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something. Stealth Archer every time.
Stealth Archer is my favorite. Yeah.
It's so fun. You just drop people from the shadows.
Yeah.
We seriously burned like 10
Already
minutes talking about
10
weapons.
minutes talking. I love it.
But it's really fun. It's like
great
super
going
video
off on
game
10.
talking.
It
Like,
totally is.
I mean, that's what a podcast is about. You just get to talk about whatever.
what
Exactly.
about like? Do you guys have like a favorite video game protagonist?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh,
I think
who's
I do.
yours?
Like probably Crash Bandicoot, but I'm trying to think of like more story-based stuff. I really liked Alo in Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought even just the performance and
You played
everything
that
was
game so
amazing.
much. It was so
I played
fun.
that game a ton.
I watched her play it.
There's so many, and I even like the characters from Until Dawn, and like thinking back, like there was just so many good story-based. And then you think Joel from Last of Us 2.
A game I haven't played.
Last of Us,
What?
the
You
first
haven't
one.
played Last of Us? Oh,
That's one thing
honey.
you need to play before
know.
the
You guys
second
need
one
to
comes
play
out.
it like for Christmas time. It's
Yeah.
perfect. Clickers,
Yeah,
Well, you should play that.
exploders.
I still have to finish Red Dead. Like I'm so
I still have to start
behind
Red
on
Dead.
stuff.
Assassin's Creed. Look, there's so many
Assassin's
games.
Creed Odyssey is probably one of the most underrated games of the year. I feel like people didn't get the hype to it. I know some people like played it and they were like, yeah, it's amazing. But when people are like, yeah, I'm done playing, Ubisoft games, and I'm like, no.
This is
Back it up.
game changing.
Back it up. I've played every single Assassin's Creed game. I was really blown away by this one.
Ubisoft just gets so much shit. It's like one of those companies that's just consistently making a good to amazing game.
Yeah.
And the internet has decided that they want to circle jerk about how much they hate them.
Right.
And
Stop being so good, but stop being so bad.
yeah, exactly. Oh, you give us a good game every year. Sometimes it's not as good, but it's good. I'm mad at you. It's like, why, man? Like, there's
Ubisoft.
microtransactions in the game. Do you need to use them? No, but they're in there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's true. They're one of those games, and they're specifically to your point. Like, so many people are raving about the game. Like people that are hardcore Assassin's Creed fans.
Yeah, I love it. I knew it was going to be good, but it sucked me in right away. And of course, there was a Pegasus skin. So why would I?
Changing everything.
When I was like, hello, why would I not get on a Pegasus? So that's crazy.
It's amazing. I haven't even gotten to that part. That's like the thing I need to do this holiday break. It's just like finish all the games I started. It's a hassle. It's like so hard to get time.
You'll
to,
probably
do it.
Pal will probably understand, but like I love PvP games, so that when I play a single player game, if it's not like excruciatingly hard, I'm out. I'm gonna go play something that I've gotta like have a really hard, like it's gotta be really challenging, but not like I don't find, oh, he's got more health and more armor now.
Right.
That's not challenging. You're just giving me a meat shield.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be difficult. That's why I really like God of War. Like,
and it was varied, and like all the different
Game
boss
of the
fights
year.
were different.
That was such a
I
good
actually
game.
didn't. That's the first God of War I have not played yet.
She's
I
the
played
same.
every
I
single
started
one.
it, but I didn't felt compelled. I don't know if it was like my mood or I was in need of something brighter and upbeat.
Right.
Because that game
It's
can
heavy.
be a little
It's
heavy.
Yeah. And the story of Kratos
But
is
I got pretty far,
heavy.
but I just once I stopped streaming it, I was like, okay,
I feel like
something
that's
lighter.
a game that I don't think I could stream. I'd rather play it off stream.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to like have a glass of wine and like get in it
It's
and
an experience.
yeah,
And that's really fun.
not like feel that I need to perform, but really more to just get into the zone of the game, and that's how you like burn time. I feel like when you're streaming, and this may be for myself, but when I'm streaming, I kind of feel like I need upbeat games because I need things to flow.
Yes.
And if I'm passive,
kills it.
it kills it for me because I'm just like I can't just be reading just the chat. And I feel like people want to come on stream too to be entertained, unless you're like, top tier and they don't care if you're just like picking your nose. But I just kind of feel like if I'm going to stream, I'm going to do something a little bit upbeat for everybody. So
Yeah.
I think for me as a dude, there was something that I really liked about the God of War storyline. It was like, it was very masculine, but in a way that like I haven't really seen in video games yet. And it's the first time it's like this hyper masculine dude dealing with like loss of his loved one, how to handle a child, and then like the emotions around it. And I hadn't really seen anything like that before, so it spoke to me in a way that just like I was like, I have to see what happens. Like I want to know what the fuck's going on. Like,
I got to meet both the voice actors at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
I interviewed Kratos and the little kid.
That must have been amazing.
And, well, he was the kid. I was doing his interview, and all of a sudden Kratos
Pops up.
came in and crashed the interview. But I was like, oh my god, this is great. Keep going. Let's just keep doing this. But I can see why people were compelled to make that game of the year.
Yes.
Oh, I the whole year
Not
I've been
only,
like, you're crazy if you don't think it's God of War.
You know, in the environments and the graphically, I mean, it's
story.
and then the story, like it's all these little,
really hard.
beautifully crafted like elements that
and subverted what people understood of the God of War game. Like,
because I mean, we hadn't seen a God of War in how long? Like
there's like a couple Vita ones, I think, or PSP ones,
right? So I mean, it was like to be able to reboot it.
Say like 5 years.
Maybe it was 5 years.
5-6 years. Maybe.
It had been a while, but like this was
off on
clearly a reboot.
Well,
it was like something they wanted to bring to them.
There's a few God of Wars, but this one I feel like was a top, like head to toe.
Right. It brought it to the modern day, the modern video game world.
And more of a storyline base where we actually get to know what happened to Kratos. And that's why I didn't get into it, because I was like, I know the backstory from what the games I've played.
It's a lot different.
So I know I'm going to fucking be emotional, like watching and playing that game. I just already know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be a hot mess. So I don't think anyone needs to see that on screen.
Yeah, I'm an emotional guy, but there's a couple scenes where I was like, it's pretty good.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
It's pretty good. Like little angry little boy. Like it speaks for like most guys, like on multiple levels. Like as you get a little older, like a little more mature, a little more emotionally sensitive. But then also the angry little boy. You're like, I get it too. This is like a 13-year-old kid that just wants to fuck everyone up.
Yeah. I was a kid once at that age. Yeah. So you understand it more than men understand it. Like,
well, I just felt like it was like one of those games that I don't know if anyone's ever really spoken about that either. Like, it just spoke to me on that angle. Like, Well,
I think that's why I think you would enjoy Last of Us, because for that, it flips the female, where you see a young girl who's a teenager dealing with kind of loss and puberty and emotions. Like, where are these emotions coming from while she's still trying to survive in this apocalyptic zombie-infilled world? And she has no one to trust except this guy named Joel, who's kind of a douche, but kind of like cool.
Father figure.
Very father figured, but like there's this nurturing sense of like, I'm a kid, I don't give a fuck. And she's like that. She's very much like that. And then the second one that's coming, we finally get to see her all kind of grown up.
I need to play that game. I'll probably just stream it and play it one day. I need to stream
and it's challenging. It is challenging. So they have a beginner, intermediate, and then hardcore. And I've played every single one and beat every single one because I love the game that much.
Yeah.
It's probably the one game I've done so many run-throughs, because I was just like, I didn't mind the story, but then it gets to a point where you're like, I like the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll play that one. I'll probably do that on a stream.
You should.
You
should.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just don't shoot all your bullets.
For you.
Oh, yeah, good.
And I'll get to relive it while you play.
You can sit there and talk to me while I play it. That'd be fun. We at the Game Awards, I got to talk to Corey Barlog about it, and I was like, every time I see him, I'm like, oh, the game is so good. Just like gush, and I'm like, I'm so embarrassed.
I know. Every time I see Troy Baker, even though he's like in another game, I always go back to the last one. So let's talk about. And he just gives me the look because he knows it's coming. Because I can't help it. I have to ask about Ellie and The Last of Us, and he can say so much, but I can't never not stop talking about that game.
Right. You're always bringing it back to that.
I'm going to play it.
You should.
I'm going to tune in. If you play, I love watching people's reactions towards that game.
Especially the ending.
What are you playing right now?
So right now I'm really into just BO4 and Fortnite. Right now my whole universe, I've been doing a lot of hosting for the BR round and PUBG. So I just feel like I'm trying to focus on my expertise, like on that. Like I'm already known to be hired for an FPS, like host, commentator, shoutcaster in that world. But I feel like the BR scene is starting to come up really hot right now in esports. So I'm trying to hone in all my skills on that. So I play every single one of them just in case I get the call one day and they're like, hey, we actually need you to, to host or, commentate for this game. I'm going to be ready. I think right now you just never know what's going to happen. If there was an opportunity for Blackout for BO4, I would say most confidently that would probably be the game I'd love to commentate on, just because I play it all the time.
Is that your favorite BR right now?
I would say
I know it's tough because you don't want to be like.
Well, I can't. Yeah, it's like picking my favorite kids, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the mood. Like I love PUBG when I want to run solo. I like playing PUBG solo. I like playing Fortnite in duos. That's my favorite because when I'm building or contesting, I can watch someone's back. Or if someone doesn't have enough mats, I can build around them and keep them safe, and then build a door, window, jump out of there, get out, kill those people. But with I will say duos and squads. Love it on Blackout. It is so much fun when you have a squad, 4 people, one person has a helicopter, we're all jumping in there. We all jump out of the helicopter, skydiving we see a team there, contested. So there's a lot of communication involved, but right now I'm just so addicted to the BRs, man.
I'm
they're really fun.
Blackout. That's we haven't played in a while, not a long time. I mean, there was a while there we were playing nonstop.
Update is amazing. So now with their armor, you don't have, how you just had level 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
So you can pick up. So if someone dies, you can pick up their scraps and rebuild your armor.
That's good.
Which has made it amazing because sometimes towards the end, your armor is just tanked. This is
they got armor. Okay, they win.
Yep,
exactly. I obviously lose.
Yeah. So there's different things I think that they're changing in the meta. Obviously, Fortnite has, the sword that everyone's just.
I was just watching that at the computer. I've never watched a Fortnite, tournament event.
Yeah, the Infinity Blade.
I particularly dislike Fortnite. I enjoy the gunplay, but I find the building.
Spectating and playing it is so different.
Yeah.
Yes.
I find the building to take away so much from the gunplay, which I think is so good that it really bugs me because I know there's a skill cap, but I also don't think once you're my key bindings and I spin and I jump and I put my platform cool, I get it. But watching it was really good. The commentators were really good. The spectating was really good. It was really high energy going. I didn't know what the hell they were doing with the building because I can't build like that.
Right.
But watching 2 people of that skill level, build, edit, get the edit gone, jump back out the window, go down. I was like, holy crap.
I always tell people because they're like, well, I don't like Fortnite. I'm like, well, watch it. Watch competitive Fortnite. And right now, a lot of people were, voicing their opinion as they should on the internet about Fortnite and the Infinity Blade and why they used it in the recent update for this Winter Royale tournament because people were like, that's not fair. I've literally spent hours trying to perfect everything of my gun skills, building skills, and then there's just sword that just, it's once.
I was pretty shocked by that.
One person. So it's been a little bit of controversy. I'm kind of curious to see what will happen if they'll add it in the next tournament because personally, I would not have added that new item into.
Seems like such a weird.
Could you imagine Riot Games being okay, big tournament? 2 days before, here's a brand new character and lane, and it's completely different.
Yeah,
it's completely subverts what.
And this is the first time anyone's ever seen it or used it.
Yeah, it'd be riots.
Riots in the streets.
I think here's the thing. I feel that Fortnite wants to be a entertainment competitive game, so they're not really centric towards esports where obviously we have rules like that Overwatch League has, Riot has, even Activision, when there's set-based rules for things, that's it, and that players can follow through that. And I think Fortnite is still experimenting with that format. They want to have entertainment but esports, but also competitive. I mean, this is $1 million on the line. You know, this is someone's like career. They literally will spend thousands of hours, you know, learning all these skills, going and learning all those building skills that are probably not fun for you, but they know that, you know, if they make top 3, you know, that's a paycheck to pay for the whole year.
65 grand.
Yeah. So this is really serious. So I think Fortnite right now, they got to be careful with riding on the edge of competitive, but also entertainment. I think they need to do both, but adding something like that Infinity Blade in there was really risky. So I think the backlash is coming from that because people are like, what did you, we don't know how to, and you
it's
can't
completely
compete.
different. It's a melee weapon. It destroys the freaking buildings. Like,
well, and also you regenerate when you
and when you pick it up, it's 200 everything, right?
Yeah.
So you pick it up, you get 200 everything, and when you kill someone, you get a health boost, right?
Yep.
And then it also slowly
and it takes everything down, and it's like you can't contest that unless you're from, you know, far away.
Right.
But
So
even
if
then
you're
they can
sitting
leap
at
on
the
you.
yeah, so exactly. So it's almost like the Thanos. So it's like if you're gonna put the sword, then put Thanos back in.
Yeah.
Because then at least someone has a chance,
Yeah.
you know, to 1v1
That would be
that.
tight
There's a
if
way
there's
to-
an Infinity Gauntlet
level the
and the
playing
blade.
field.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
so good.
I kind of feel like there has to be something that can challenge that. For me, I would have loved to have commentated that because some of the angles that they were picking, just even spectating, were really funny. Like they kept they were just trolling. I think it was
Yeah.
being a little bit of troll, but you know, what can you do? I think that's part of the biz. They're in their own little island right now in terms of the PR worlds, but I would love to do Blackout. Would love it. I've done a couple PUBG events already.
PUBG broke my heart, man. PUBG broke my heart.
There was
It
a
was
lot
so
of
good for a while there. That was our only thing.
I
And
think
then
still, even now, not having played PUBG in months, I still have my most BR time in PUBG.
yeah.
And
Everyone does.
it was
broke my heart.
the only
Yeah.
BR for a while there.
No, I mean, there was H1Z1, which was
That's
good.
true.
See, I didn't get into
It was
H1Z1.
the up and coming one.
I was too
And then
much
Fortnite
into
came in and whoop, shot past it.
Destiny and Call of Duty and like that rotation. And my once in a while RPGs that I would throw in the mix. But right now, I think PUBG has learned a lot from what they're doing, and they have that new map that's coming out. It's on PS4 now,
Yeah.
so it's on.
The snow map, right? That's the one that's on the PTR.
Yep.
I heard that one's really cool because you can like track people with
Yep.
their
Yeah.
footprints in the snow.
So they're not out of the game yet.
No, they're definitely not dead. Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think this experience has humbled them a lot because
For sure. Yeah.
because now they're not at the top, and what happens when you're at the top? So you try to like focus on your strengths and be like, okay, well, this is what we need to work on, and I think that's good. I think companies should be challenged. Bluehole, I think, also has expanded so rapidly. Like they had an office,
just like HR expansion.
Yeah, like they didn't have enough hands to handle all this. So I feel like when Epic came, they had all the manpower and research. And they could hire just endless. And not saying that, Bluehole couldn't. It was too fast, too overwhelming.
Shot past them.
They didn't have the infrastructure. Yeah, Epic is an old studio. It's like
They have
I'm pretty sure
experience in
Epic Games
this.
made Unreal Tournament, but Bluehole just didn't have the infrastructure. I also think they got a little complacent. They're like, we're the big dog, 3 million concurrents.
Right.
Everyone's talking about us.
Everyone's playing us.
2 months later, like,
Thanos came in and just
literally, like in half or a third, and it was just too buggy, and they didn't.
they weren't listening to the people playing.
Yeah, and I mean, they have this whole like fix PUBG thing, and I think they
Didn't
have.
they just cancel it? Didn't they cancel that campaign, the Fix PUBG campaign? Like
Well, I think they're trying to
changed
move,
it, right?
Well, they're trying to move along from that, and here's the thing. I'm glad that they're still there. I think they just actually recently built a brand for their league, a new studio, literally in Santa Monica. So
That's
it's
cool.
it's cool. The first event was actually this weekend or this past weekend, but teams like Optic backed out of the tournament. So there's it's weird to say what is going to be the future of PUBG. I don't want them to be eliminated from the circle space. I feel like they just need to improve on what they have, and they need to stay committed to the things that they're going to improve and listen to their community. If their community is like really feeling something, like work with that. Work with the community as much as you can. So
always listen to your
I loved
players.
the sniping in PUBG.
Oh,
Sniping
God.
in PUBG was just like the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hiccups. But then close
okay.
quarters combat in Fortnite is the jam. My favorite is Black Ops.
Yeah.
I think it does everything.
Oh, if you get the we call it the Palawin, the Paladin. I'm not a sniper too much in Blackout. I will say my boyfriend is a little bit more. I'm more AR.
Right.
I'm more of like a DPS. I come in and I'll take all the armor and he just kills everybody.
I'm a
Nice. It's a good
mid
team.
to short range. That's where I like to be.
Yep, mid to short range. Yep,
I'll
same
take
here.
an SMG or a
Oh
shotgun.
no, I don't know how he makes some of his snipe shots. He leads the shot so well. I'm like, sorcery, because that's
You're a wizard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not right. Like he's literally 200 meters away. Like
is he pod racing on the weekends too?
I
Like,
mean, he
he's got
does
those
have
Jedi skills.
He
Yeah.
does have Jedi skill. I mean, he's one of the top Call of Duty players. It's in his blood. I don't think there's any game. He won't play Fortnite with me anymore. He refuses. The two games where we have in rotation that we play is Overwatch and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Overwatch is a
those
fun
are great
game.
games.
Those are fun
Those
games.
are really fun.
We play Overwatch when we don't want anything Call of Duty, and it's perfect because we kind of get in the zone. We know who we main, who our strengths are. I play Ana, he plays Soldier. I just nano him, and we win every game.
That's good. You guys can really impact a game.
Yeah, well, we needed Reinhardt. We need Ryan.
I'm here, man. I'll play it. Yeah, my Reinhardt game. I love Reinhardt. You were at that dinner.
He's your bae.
Yeah.
I love Reinhardt.
Well, everyone loves a good Ryan. So
Yeah.
when you have one, and I love to play Ana, so
you got two people to boost.
Yes, those are my two favorite characters. I stayed like really close with them, and people are like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because they will protect you.
Yeah. Yeah.
no one will touch you."
I'm not over aggro either. I always make sure I'm blocking more damage than I'm dealing. So I keep my shield up. But like if I have a moment to go in and charge and like take a couple people down, I'll do it.
You'll always do it.
I love it. I would love for Blizzard to make like a Reinhardt statue. This like the size of the
haven't done
Diva
one
statue.
yet.
No, they haven't.
It's been forever.
You guys have amazing statues here.
We do
Yeah,
have some pretty
we do
good
have a pretty cool one.
collectibles
This is
up here.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we should also mention who your boyfriend is because I don't know if we mentioned it on
no,
stream.
didn't.
So
Oh, I
people
didn't.
might be
Oh.
listening and be like, "Well, who's this pro player?"
Oh,
now
he's
that
a
we know?
mystery man.
Yeah.
He goes by Elite Shot. We met oddly enough at a gaming event. We met at the Lawbreakers event.
Ooh, very cool.
I love Lawbreakers. I'm so sad about
I know.
that.
I
also
also
love
sad about
Cliff.
it.
And it's obviously we love Cliff, so
Yeah.
love you, Cliff. But I think it was just bad timing and not proper marketing.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact because I talked to him, but also just it's sometimes it's like one of
it's the
those
industry, like-
yeah,
And they did something interesting, and I
It
was
was
like, this
very
is
new and
so-
interesting, yeah.
Like, I'm so mad no one's playing this, but BRs were just like,
it's just and he did a BR game, but then he closed the studio.
Yeah.
what was the name of that? Radical Heights.
Radical Heights.
That was the name of that game. That was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just I needed a break from it all, and
I like that dude.
oh yeah, I gotta love Cliff and Lauren. But yeah, we met at the Lawbreakers event, and they gave up my PC station. So I was like, well, how am I gonna review this game? And they're like, well, we have the PlayStation area, and he was there, and he was sitting across from me, and I was basically 1v1ing him the whole time. Like we kept fighting each other and like killing each other, and then I didn't even know who he was, and I was just talking mad shit. I was just like, why are you so trash at the game?
Dang.
And I don't know why I like compelled me to like talk. I've never done that with anyone ever. I'm always like really polite, just because you never know, you might work with someone in the future.
Did
But
you pull his hair and throw some sand at him too?
I mean, I swear he was being the nicest guy. I was
He
like,
was really nice when I met him too.
Very nice.
Really
One
nice
thing
dude.
about him is
it's because he's close to Canada. He's like on
Like
the border.
Canadian proximity.
getting some of that Canadian.
Yes, and sometimes people think he's from Canada from his accent, but he's not. He's from Buffalo, and everyone from Buffalo seems to be like just super chill and really nice. I don't know. It's something in the water. But
That's what they say about Canada. So
Yeah.
it's maybe like the fumes or like
The
something's
fumes.
like been spreading
Now there's
down there a
smoke
little
clouds
bit.
coming from
Yeah,
Canada.
smoke
Exactly.
clouds, exactly.
but yeah, we met, and we've had this is like the first boyfriend I've had in a really long time. So.
Yeah, you guys are a
Where
cute
were we
couple.
when we all had that at Seattle?
Yeah,
We were in Seattle,
for
yeah.
PAX.
Nice. Yeah, I sat right next to him. We talked each other's ear off for the whole
was so
dinner.
sweet.
Yeah, he's super chatty. He's just like a chill guy. He's got a big giant YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was. And then when as time went on, I was like, oh my gosh, he knows everybody that I know. Weird. And like we would go back and be like, oh my God, we were at the same event, but we never ran into each other.
That's so cool. I love it.
It's really cool.
The gaming industry is really small too, so it's like
a small
well,
industry.
I had a rule for a long time of never date anyone in the industry. Like I would date around other people, different industries. But it's really hard to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't understand
what you do,
what I do, and
your passion.
like he doesn't get jealous if I have to go and like interview a bunch of guys, because I'm doing an event over the weekend. He and also he's just really proud. Like he's like, I love that what you do. You love it so much. I love what I do so much, and we just love gaming so much. Like that's just our world, and I think for anyone who is your significant other who can understand your passion, it's like makes life easier.
It totally does.
So I'm in a very happy place right now.
Woohoo!
For me, when I'm like
2018,
anyone else, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of this social stuff. I got to blah, blah, blah. They're like, just get off Twitter. I'm like, no, I do it for a job. I tell her, she's like, that sucks. They're stupid. like she understands my
I
space.
totally
It's
get
really
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's also too when someone is also equally passionate in the same space as you. Like, I don't want to become a giant YouTuber. Like, it's not my passion. If it happens, cool, but that's not what I want to do. And I just see how hard he works, and it just makes it motivates me. I'm like, man, maybe I should start a YouTube channel because like there's YouTube money is like really good. But then he's always like, dang, like you're hosting or you're commentating. Like he did his first commentating job this year. We got him a really, really good deal with PUBG, and it was his first time, and he's like, man, that's hard. It's like at home when I'm doing my YouTube channel, but I can't stop talking. Like there's no like pause button.
No
I'm
pause,
like, no, it's
no breaks
live.
in the chatter.
Yeah, casting and commentating is so freaking hard. That's why the guys that are good at it make so much money, because it's like you gotta be able to talk.
The guy, there's top tier commentators, and they all live in a couple fields in the game, but yes.
Yeah, I just feel like being able to fill the space, but not just be saying just absolute just fluff, to talk as an expert in these fields is really impressive.
An analyst and to know what's going on and to speak eloquently
about
it. It does. It is a skill. I mean, that's why they pay the big bucks.
Yeah, I think I really like. There's a couple Overwatch League ones I like. I like Uber a lot. But I think Riot has the best casters, just in general. And it's also kind of par for the fact that their game is very easy to observe. Top down, like items, things like that. Overwatch is pretty hard. The BRs are really hard. Like there was a
hard to cover.
Well, it's hard to spectate a BR.
Yeah.
Well, if there's no spectating tools, and that's where the developers come in. If they don't give the tools for the commentators, then we are limited to only observing what we see. So PUBG has done a better job. Fortnite is doing a better job. I'm dying to see how, and I'm not Activision, Blizzard, like I feel like they'll be fine because I know that they're working together to find the best tools for esports. We're not ready to see. I just came back from CWL, so it was all MP stuff.
Right?
Yeah, that was all MP, which was amazing.
I'm so excited for the blackout mode.
Dude,
my God.
I want to just commentate. I just want to like work on that series. It would be incredible, but that I think I thought about that while I was at CWL because I was like, well, they would maybe need a dedicated day just for Blackout.
Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of players and you don't want to take the shine away from the MP.
Yeah.
And, and I feel like spectating something like a BR in an audience or a game, it needs its own luster. So.
Yeah, it was with PUBG where I think they were talking about because you can't spectate it like a traditional FPS. It can't always be on like one player and switching every player. Someone I wish I could give credit to who I heard say that, but you kind of have to spectate it like golf or where it's here's the hole we're watching, here's the building we're watching.
Yeah, observers have a really tough job. So it's called an observer. Where I love that we're talking to esports because that's like my jam. Yeah. But I feel that an observer is
totally
like,
is jam.
I feel like it's these roles people don't really think about because when you like open up Twitch or YouTube or Wix or whatever platform you're watching an esports event, you don't realize how many people are needed in production just to get the game broadcasted. You know, you have your talent, and then you have your observers, you have your commentators, you have your hosts.
I know.
I mean, there's a lot of people, and then that doesn't include the players, the coaches, all of their org people,
internal analysts. Big shout out to Jason Baker and his team from OWL. I used to go and when I was working those events, I'd go and like pop in there, and it's almost like people in Jason Baker's role is like almost like he's almost like a conductor. He's like that camera. It's like a live TV producer. This camera, and then here, and this guy's 3% from his ult, but he's moving into the back. Let's get on him, or let's get on the healer. Who's
it's insane.
It's spectacular.
Spectating is spectacular.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I was just very impressed by it. You're right. Like, people don't get the work. I always hate. Obviously, I hate the comment section on most places are so toxic. Like, I'd be like, spectating's trash. It's just like, oh, I could do better. I'm like, no, you couldn't.
No, you couldn't.
150,000 people watching. You can't
you
pause.
would be stumbling. You would. I mean, no, you would not be able to maintain a train of thought that would make sense, and it would be a cluster.
It's not just you by your keyboard. You're reporting to managing and reporting the whole team, like you're talking about, and you're also trying to be entertaining while keeping the flow going on.
Like, it's insane.
It's not. This isn't the League of Legends client where you can be like, oh, hold on, go back real fast. Hold on, guys, I'm going back. Like, no, it's like
that's not the commentating people are looking for when it comes to esports.
I gotta go back. I gotta hold on. I messed that up. Like, you can't.
That's talking about your games. Try talking about someone else's.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
It's almost like you have to paint a picture, and you also have to be camera ready and like be able to hit all your intros and outros because you're on a time basis.
Sponsor messages.
Yeah.
Don't want to mess those up.
Weird names.
Oh man. When you have to like call out people's names and it's like they're from different countries, and God forbid that you call them something else and the internet freaks out, or you by accident say a different game mode when you're actually talking about a different game mode. There's so many things that I think trolls can pick up, but to me, I feel like, I don't know, I don't really care. I think my community has seen me like improve. Every time there's an event, I get better. Every time I'm on stage, I just get better. It's not, you know how that is. It's not easy your first time or your 300th time. You go up there, you try to deliver as best as you can. And
so many factors to consider too, like during everything you have to think about, like camera ready, like what's your script, or
posture,
when's
the
like what camera are you looking at, like so many different things to consider.
So many things,
and it's hard.
It's really tough.
You gotta have the energy. Like, what if you're having an off day?
Open bracket days are 12-hour days. Like, people think it's like
on camera, 12 hours.
On camera, with heels on. So like, I'm backstage with like my slippers and my high heels, and like right before, I almost one time like put on my shoes because I was like really fast in a hurry, put them on the wrong feet, and like trying to rush up onto the stage. There's been weird things, or like my eyelash was about to fall out, like right in the middle of like an interview,
and you're just my face.
And I'm just trying to not let anyone in the world notice that things are malfunctioning. Wardrobe. I've had boobs almost like pop out, like the girls, like
the extreme stuff.
The extreme stuff, or sometimes when you're interviewing a player and they just the worst BO, or they have really bad breath, and you're just
they don't give you anything. They're not responsive.
They're trying to be edgelord douchebags.
You know what? Actually,
you don't encounter that.
Like I'm really lucky. I feel like I get quiet people, but I always find that one question where people
open up
and get chat. And I make it a point. I have like some special tools that I use to.
You have tools in your toolbox.
I do. Well, that I get to know the players a little bit more. I know how to like. I schmooze with them a little bit beforehand, and
always good to do.
Always. And just to get to know them and introduce myself. And
maybe it comes up, like another question comes up in your head because you're like talking about this. Okay, maybe we can
or I always ask, is it okay if I ask you about this? Because sometimes it's something really controversial that's popped up on Reddit.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, do you mind talking? Sometimes they're like, yeah, no, I don't want to engage with that. And sometimes they're like, I don't care. So I'm like, I got some good arsenal to talk about.
Yeah.
But I've always felt that my job is one of those that I'm always looking at my peers for validation. I don't really care about what the trolls say.
No, internet comments, you can never win. So there's no point.
And it doesn't matter like what they think, but it's when I get a DM from one of my favorite commentators or hosts and they're like, dude, you're killing it. Like you look like thank you. You're actually making this like fun to watch. Boom. That's it. I got my validation. And that always feels really good, right? When it's from your peers that you also respect. So I just kind of feel like I'm in that place right now where I just want to get better. I'm only still the only trilingual host in the world. So
that's amazing.
It's weird sometimes when I'm like, I can't think of another person, but
what are the two languages?
So Portuguese and Spanish.
That's awesome.
So I got to do this year Gears of War where we were in Mexico City and I hosted, and there's quite a few Latin American
Portuguese
teams.
Scene is really big for esports.
Brazil is huge.
Super huge, and Spain and Europe and everything. But that was the first time I got to host something bilingually.
Yes.
So like I opened the show in English and immediately did it in Spanish, and like the crowd went crazy, like thousands of people like losing their minds. Plus, you know, the stream, which is like thousands of people. It's like I think that's where I felt the adrenaline rush of like, oh my god, I love this. I want to do this for the rest of my life. But that
you
is,
will trust.
Yeah. I feel like until there's other people. So I get a lot of messages from a lot of young girls who please DM me. I have my DMs open, and people of color mainly. How did you break in the scene? How do I get in the scene? How do I contact and I'm always there to give people like
always supporting.
Oh my god, yeah, because
I feel the same way. It's so rewarding, but it's also like because
you just never know. Yes, I remember when I got my first break and people were kind enough to follow me like on Twitter or like ask me on their show, and like I didn't have any followers or I didn't have anybody that wanted to take the time of day, and now I'm like I feel like I'm in a position where and I can't do all the events. Right. It's just impossible to do every event every weekend.
Very impossible.
And this was the first year where I was triple booked. So I would be like,
yay.
And
awesome.
it's such a great problem to have because I was like, I want to recommend you this person and this person for this job. And they got the jobs and they did amazing. And that opened doors for them. And it's like, there's enough work for everybody.
Yes.
In this esports. There's esports happening every weekend.
Golden Boy.
Yeah, right?
Jeez,
that guy's crushing it.
I mean, okay, can we just talk about like Golden Boy for a second?
He's fantastic.
So he is, when I first started getting into esports hosting, is two people that I looked up to. One, Golden Boy. One, because he's Spanish, and I was like, I can relate. And I was like, I want to be like Golden Boy. You know, I want to be as talented. He's kind of like the hybrid, right? He could be on anything. He can cast. He can host. He can do it all.
Yeah.
And then Seltzer, Rachel,
please, yeah.
Who's like basically the jack of all trades.
We just had her on, so that's perfect.
You're right after her episode.
Oh, hey. So, which is perfect because she is that empowerment of like a strong woman host, knows her shit, knows like the most professional,
hilarious,
gorgeous, funny, can carry any show. She can carry anything. And so those two, I feel like they're at the top, and I'm always like, I just want to be like them, and just
you are. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, but like Golden Boy, you know,
I mean, yes, Golden Boy.
He got a show with The Rock. I'm like, damn, dude, you're killing it.
It was a big up year for him for sure.
It's a beautiful, and
not to mention just opening at the Barclays Centers for Overwatch League.
Also,
which he did amazing.
He crushed it.
Everything that man touches turns into gold.
Yeah.
Hence the Golden Boy name.
He is a national treasure. He is our national treasure, and I am just so like grateful to be rubbing shoulders with people like that. I just know that my career is just going to keep getting better because of people in your circle. So it's like, and it's such a life lesson. It doesn't matter if it's like in gaming. It could be any type of business. Yeah. You want to be successful, you got to rub shoulders with the like top dogs. You're also
judged by the company you keep. So if you, 100%, if you hang out with a bunch of shitbags, people are going to assume you're a shitbag.
And it's hard, and it's hard too because I grew up it's really weird. As now that I'm older and I see all these people on my Facebook, like having kids, getting married, like I'm nowhere there. Like I'm still traveling the world. I got my passport's like full. Like I gotta go and get another passport by the end of this year because I've traveled so much. And I feel like it's not to say that it's bad that they're starting their family life, but I have 2 dogs. I have my boyfriend. I have video games. I'm so content.
You're so happy.
I'm so content. I have no desire. I mean, if it happened, it's fine, but like there's no need for it. And I think it's really cool when my friends that I went to high school with, and I was a complete nerd. Like I was not popular. I was a late bloomer. Message me and they're like, you know, my kid watches you on stream and they really like you. And I tell them, yeah, that I went to high school with her. She, you know, and like, I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool. I get some cool points for that.
That's awesome.
You definitely get a lot of points for that.
It's really cool. Yeah. And the same thing with like one of my cousins, her son knows that I do like his favorite game is Call of Duty, and he knows that like I do stuff sometimes with Call of Duty. So it's just crazy. It's weird to me because it's just my job, but then it's like
people look up to it and they look up to you.
You never know who you're gonna put that little seed in their head and where it's where it might go.
Yeah, they'll be the next Paola, Pancake
or the next Naomi Kyle.
Right,
you know,
like
Can you? I can't believe it's been an hour.
It has been an hour as of right
now.
now.
Has it been an hour?
We smashed through this hour.
Are we gonna eat some food?
Now we're gonna eat some food.
Yeah.
We're gonna have dinner. But thank
great.
you so much for being on.
You
truly are an inspiration.
Yeah.
And I look up to you. And I think even like when I first started, I remember seeing you like pop up online and stuff. And I was like, she's gonna be big, you know?
Yeah.
No!
And it's just been so cool to like get to know you over the years.
I always looked up to you though.
Oh my God, we're gonna go on forever saying stuff like that.
You're
the best.
You're the best.
But yeah, it's so great having you on. Where can people find you? I just called you Pancake Pal. That's like your
so
handle,
I have a couple of names. Pancake Pal is kind of you can go to Pancake Pal.
POW.
Yep. PancakePal.com. And that's kind of where you can find me everywhere. That's all my social media stuff. So if you like to, if you like dogs and esports, you'll find.
Give her a follow.
Give me a follow.
Yes.
And but thank you for having me on.
Of course. I mean, it's also perfect because you're one of my friends in the industry, and this is our last episode this year in
2018. It's done.
It's over. We're in December. Whoa. Christmas is happening soon.
We're gonna be back.
We will be back. We're taking a month off, so we wanted to let you guys know on this podcast. It's okay. We have some really cool things that might be changing or happening. When we kick back up in February. No promises, of course. It's always the up in the air kind of thing when it comes to production. So we're going to see how that turns out, but definitely expect us to be back in February. And we've appreciated so much of you guys watching and being supportive of us because it's been a wild ride and we've had so much fun having all our best friends on to chat games and life stuff. And we touched on so many different topics. So
now
she's awake now.
I've been awake this whole time.
You're like all pepped and ready to go. It's because we said Korean barbecue, I think.
Yeah, now I'm like food. I'm motivated. No, I've been engaged this whole time. It's been really great having you on.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I'm here. I said that this was my last event, and then we got.
You just booked something else.
I just booked something, but I promise this is my last. So this was my last fun event that I get to do. So,
awesome.
Kyle, did you want to say anything for the?
No, I was just messing with you about the waking up because I'm also excited about food.
Yeah.
Oh, about the year. Oh, yeah. No, it's awesome to be able to do this, and like. It's just cool. Like we were having this like same type of discussion just in the other room, and basically this is the same sort of way we talk with all of our friends. We just move it to the microphone,
and then we get our show.
It's smart.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
Yeah, I like it. It's been really good so far.
We have fun, and it's evolved, and it's been just a wild ride, and we appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, we will be back next year. Can't believe it. Happy New Year. Happy holidays wherever you are. We'll see you in 2019. And that's it for us. Everybody Games. See you next year.
Later.
Bye, guys.